what did the Porzingis move do for the Celtics?
I think it makes them the title favorites. That's how I feel about it. I'm looking at every team in the NBA, and I dare somebody to tell me who can the Boston Celtics not beat. I love Marcus Smart, and I'm going to miss him, and that's a tremendous loss for them in terms of their spirit. But statistically speaking, even though he was the Defensive Player of the Year the season before this one, some people look at least statistically, there was some slippage there. I'm looking at Porzingis' third best defended field goal percentage in the NBA behind Giannis and Draymond. I'm thinking about that. I'm thinking about the fact that he's 7'3" and he can step away from the basket and he can shoot a J, if not a 3. I'm thinking about the fact that he had a pretty damn good season this year, played about 65 games. He's had a plethora of injuries. He's never won a playoff series, been to the playoffs twice. We get all of that. But when I think about Horford, who's not getting any younger, 37 years of age, I'm thinking about Robert Williams III. He hasn't played more than 40 games the last couple of years. He's not reliable, can't do over 60 games in his 5-year career. We understand all of that. You need an additional big body. You need an additional big body out there in terms of rim protection. You need somebody that has the ability to step out and hit shots. You're looking at him. You add size. You add size to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. You keep Derek White and Brogdon. I'm sorry. I look at the Boston Celtics, and I said I can't blame them for making this deal at all. Brad Stevens was a damn good coach. In 7 years he was in Boston, he's got him to a few conference finals. Obviously, he never got him to over the hump to the NBA finals like Ime Udoka did, but he was a hell of a coach. I think he's been an even better executive. Some of the moves that he's made, I've been incredibly impressed with Brad Stevens. This man knows what he's doing. And I think that when you got the chance to put Porzingis with that crew, I can't say enough about the job he's done. I think on paper, the Boston Celtics have elevated themselves to being the team to beat in the NBA.
Think about the fact that every trade is different. We have to look at within the context of the actual player in the trade. But Think about the fact that the Washington Wizards traded Bradley Beal, Kristaps Porzingis, and Chris Paul all within a week. And they got one first-round pick out of that, and it's in 2030, and it's protected. Brad Stevens had to give up Marcus Smart, which I'm going to get to that in a second, and he got Kristaps Porzingis and 2 first-round picks. Brad Stevens, the Brogdon deal, basically stole Brogdon from the Pacers last year. Like, he's done a phenomenal job as a GM. Mm-hmm. I believe this deal makes them the favorites in the East. And in particular, because I'm very high still on the Milwaukee Bucks, given the regular season that they had and given the fact that Giannis was hurt in that first-round series. But in particular in that matchup, when you can space the floor the way Porzingis does, and Milwaukee plays that heavy drop coverage with Brook Lopez, and you can't put Brook Lopez on anybody else because they can all shoot and they can all pass and they can all drive. I think the Celtics become the favorites in the East. I still, unless I see otherwise at the beginning of the season or halfway through the season, the Denver Nuggets to me are still the favorites to win the championship next year. But the Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, Phoenix Suns, as it stands right now, those to me are the 4 favorites. Porzingis in particular had his best season of his career last year, and what impressed me the most was defense, because early in his career, despite the athletic blocks and all that, he was not known as a great defender. He had his best defensive year last year. The only question mark I have with this trade is what is the cultural effect of losing Marcus Smart, who's been a stalwart and a pillar for that team since he's been drafted.
I totally agree with you there, but the argument against that can be made. What did that do for us in terms of championships? 0. Now, that's not his fault. We get that, but nevertheless, if you haven't won the chip, you've got to try something new. I'm a person who firmly believes that if Boston had gone up against Denver, that would have easily been a 6-game series, likely 7. And so that's what I thought before you exchanged Smart for Porzingis. Mm-hmm. And now that in Porzingis you have an additional body that can rim protect, plus can space the floor and pull you out. I'm thinking about Jokic now, and he's going to do what he's going to do, but who's going to help him? Aaron Gordon and these guys can play, but it's entirely different going up against a Jimmy Butler who's smart, savvy, predicates his success offensively by getting to the free throw line, as opposed to going up against Jason Tatum, who just averaged 30. No Boston Celtic has ever done that. And on top of it all, he's 6'9", with a game. who can shoot long range. He can finish in the open court. Jaylen Brown, he's a secondary option. He's a legit 6'6". We know what he can do. You don't have undersized guys like Gabe Vincent out there. A Max Strus who's going to go 2 games, can't score a damn point. That kind of stuff ain't happening with Boston. Porzingis is an upgrade. I think Boston's the favorite.
Oh my gosh, this is what it's really like? Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
It was crazy, Molly.
Wow.
It was crazy. I mean, I've never stood next to anybody that tall, ever. Ever. It's never happened.
Okay, well, let's talk about this. We love a post-draft Fashion Friday. Let's get into the looks, okay? So first one here, we start with Scoot Henderson. Let's get Scoot up here.
Okay. Let's see. All right.
Okay. It's a little much for me. It's a little too, like, flashy, blinged out. But listen, it's his moment. It's his night. And he flexed. He had fun with it.
I got to say, I love the fit. Again, it's not how I would show up to the draft.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
No, I love the fit, particularly the flared bottoms.
Oh, yeah.
It just all goes
It's
together.
on trend, and obviously,
it's
look,
all on trend.
I thought
He
the
has
shoes.
the
I
so
thought
good
the
point.
shoes were spectacular.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little too much because of the chain.
Okay, that's
Based
fair.
on the outfit that you have available, you don't need this right here.
Yeah.
It sort of took away from all of this
You
to
know
some
what?
degree.
I'm actually impressed you
What's
picked
this
up
called,
on
Molly?
that.
What's this called? Is it Bejeweled? Is it called being
It is
Bejeweled?
or bedazzled.
Bedazzled.
I'm sure it wasn't bedazzled. But yeah, I agree with you. If we took the chain off, I like the rings are working.
right.
It would have been, I think, a little smoother.
That's right. But I want to be nice. I want to be nice because
Okay.
he's got big sisters, and I don't want them coming after me.
I love
Okay.
it.
I mean,
I love
The
it.
next one, Grady Dick. Can we?
Look, I get the nod to Wizard of Oz, but hell no. Hell no. I can't take this guy seriously. I'm sorry.
Listen, my mom
I'm
told
sorry.
me when you have nothing nice
I'm
to say,
sorry.
don't say
Here's
it.
my
at all.
problem. Here's my problem. The brother's got some game.
Yeah.
All right. I give him props. I mean, the blazer, it's a little out
Yeah.
there. Here's my problem. When I saw him, the first thing I thought
Yeah.
about was Vanilla Ice. And you cannot come into the NBA reminding us of Vanilla Ice. That is not good. So I hope he's got a game on the next level
I
to
like-
make up for this.
I like the chunky Prada lug sole shoes, just not with this particular look. And I think the shades are fine. This was just a lot for me with it almost looked like a turtleneck under.
But he was trying to make a statement.
And he did.
He was trying to make a statement like, I'm here. Okay, all right, I'm not gonna knock
But
you.
he also talked about it afterwards. It was an ode to Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
Right? We're not in
which-
Kansas anymore.
Kansas,
Yeah.
So it's almost like Met Ball. He stuck to the theme.
Yeah, I
So we
didn't know
give
he
him
said-
credit for that.
Ooh.
Okay, now let's
reference.
get to my favorite. You already know who this is. I love this on so many levels. Okay, can I just break this down for a moment?
Okay, go ahead.
It's Louis Vuitton, obviously. I just think.
Obviously.
Well, I mean, a
We don't know.
Parisian
We don't
designer.
know.
Okay. But the forest green to me is just such a timeless color. It's so chic. It's double-breasted, then he wanted a little bit of flavor, so it has kind of the kimono thing going. I love the rings. No, that's what he said. It was inspired. Kimono inspired.
No, I'm
just telling you.
We're not debating.
Okay,
We're
I'm just telling you.
listening.
But
I'm reacting to your
Okay.
excellent breakdown of the outfit.
no, but
Yeah.
I love this look.
I love it.
Like, I would call his stylist right now and say, would you dress me?
Yeah.
Because I'm looking a little cheesy
I
today.
texted him this morning
In my
and said,
lace
"Can I-
and
can I
hot
get your
pink.
stylist?"
And this is
I
so
loved it.
chic. So, yeah, the pinky ring, and then obviously having the pointer as well. Shoes are clean. And then also the thing I thought was unique, and I got this from your interview, the bismuth stone. He wasn't just all about bling and flash. He went with like a unique piece. And I don't think it was too much. It was understated, but he still had some like flair and uniqueness to it.
The outfit initially struck me as relatively bland, plain, but I liked it. The more I thought about it, I liked it. Here's what I wish. This is the only thing. I didn't like the shirt. I wish the shirt, I don't care if it was white, hot pink, something.
Yeah.
I needed something to offset the rest of the green. You see what I'm saying?
Called monochromatic.
And I love
What are you doing right now?
I know that.
Yes.
What are you doing
Yes.
right
I'm
now?
off.
Thank
I'm
you,
off.
Jacob.
I'm off.
No.
But I'm off. I'm not on the red
But
carpet.
even
This is the best thing
I
about
said
it.
this
Did you
earlier.
see how I was dressed last night?
His sister was the best dressed female of the night. And I also, no, I'm just saying, it was, so I need a Parisian stylist, clearly. I mean, I just. Do we have a picture of her? Yeah, I think we have.
Yes.
Oh, we have a picture. Okay. Yeah, it was just, you can't see the full look there, but it was just the whole thing. All three of them, even the little brother as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
Nice
such a special moment to see them all together.
It was all
crying.
special and a great family. I really, really enjoyed talking to them.
Okay. I got two more.
Nice white
Oh.
cream shit.
Brandon Miller.
No. That's all I'm going to say, no.
Okay.
No.
Can I say one thing?
You look like wearing
So-
a JJ Redick collar right there.
No, I think it fits. No, Stephen A. It fits really well. The fit's done really well. The shoes, all of that. I just don't know about the plaid this time of year. It didn't feel like the right season for that tone to me. It gave me like a little bit more of like a Christmas vibe. Now, I didn't see him in person, so maybe this is more of a curl. But to me on the screen, it's reading a little like red and green. But it fits. The tailoring is exceptional.
Yeah. Molly, can I make a suggestion? I think Molly needs her own show. I think Molly needs her own
I've been saying that.
fashion
I've been
show.
saying that.
These breakdowns are phenomenal.
You like it? All right,
I
let's
can't even add to
Breaks it
that.
down.
Go,
But it
DJ.
actually gets in
What's
the way
yours?
of some of her outfits because she overanalyzes.
Oh,
Molly tried
DJ.
it 3 times.
We
Go ahead.
have yours. Oh, they're surprising me. I thought you
Oh,
were
wow. Okay. All right. All right.
That's you!
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So here's what I would have said. Throw it for the photo.
2006.
Okay, that's fine.
2006.
I get it. 2006. I'm there with
Okay.
you. All right, we could pull up some 2006 Molly photos. They would be embarrassing. I would have probably just buttoned this for the photo. I didn't need to see like the shirt peeking.
Hold on. Sometimes, always, never.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a thing.
That's the rule with the 3-button suit.
Oh, I didn't
absolutely
know.
right.
Look, can I tweak my own
Okay, yeah,
fit
you
real
do
quick?
it.
Okay. So first of all, you never match patterns. So I've
Okay.
got a pinstripe suit,
Okay.
and I've got stripes in my tie.
You're so angry at me. Okay.
That's really bad. Also, what's up with these sideburns, bro? Yeah, I don't think these are cuffed.
Why brown
Other
shoes?
than that,
Because the blue? Was
you know
it the
what?
blue?
Nothing
Can I say something?
Brown with black?
No. Can I say
Is
something?
that black? I thought
This
it was
is a
blue.
navy blue suit.
Oh,
It's a navy
it
blue.
is.
It
That's how
comes
you wear
off
brown.
darker in
Okay.
pictures, but yeah.
What
no.
year had the best draft class? Obviously, I mentioned
Look,
84,
yeah,
96, 03.
all these classes spectacular,
Yeah.
right? And especially at the top. I think 96 potentially a little bit deeper than 04 or 84 or 03 or 84. I got to go 1984. 1984, best NBA draft class ever. Let's just break it down to the top 3 guys in each class. I'd say 03 is Melo, D. Wade, LeBron. 96, I'd probably go Nash, Kobe, AI. You compare that to 84, MJ,
Olajuwon.
your greatest player of all time. Olajuwon, top 12 to 15 player of all time. Barkley, top 12 to 15 talent of all time. Never won a championship. I'll put him top 20. The other classes, they don't stack up the same way at the top. Then you add in the fact that John Stockton's a top 5 point guard ever. All-time leader in assists, all-time leader in steals. I mean, MJ himself has to weigh a little bit more, just in the same way that LeBron has to weigh a little bit more and Kobe has to weigh a little bit more. But if we're talking just the top, I got 84.
Yeah, I still get 96. I mean, you think about like 10 All-Stars. 10 All-Stars. Steve Nash. Talk about point guards. Talk about MVPs. Kobe Bryant. Do I need to say more? Allen Iverson. Basically a generational talent. Stephon Marbury. Jermaine O'Neal. Stojakovic. I mean, like the depth of this draft class is absolutely ridiculous. And you have generational players very similar to 84. And look, you're talking about the best players in that. And I didn't even mention Ray Allen. Would you consider yourself the best shooter in the history of the game and Ray Allen
Allen's
second
my
best?
favorite player of all time.
I wouldn't even consider myself in the top 5.
Well, back in the day, I'm hyping you up here. But I mean, that class was absolutely ridiculous. Championship caliber. And think about the number of teams that won NBA championships.
Well, I get where you're coming from. Listen, I can't make up my mind, to be quite honest with you. I think about 96 with what you talk about the depth. And then you think about Ray Allen and Kobe Bryant. Those are who stand out there champions. And, of course, I'm always bring my man AI into the mix because of how sensational he was. Made my career covering him every day for the first 7 years of my career in Philadelphia. That's one thing. You look at the draft class of 2003. You got LeBron at number 1, Melo at number 3. Bosh at number 4, D. Wade at number 5. And so you look at it from that perspective, it's like, damn, how can you ignore that? But then you get to that 84 class, which JJ just brought up with MJ, and you know what he brings to the table. And then you go with Olajuwon, one of the top centers in the history of basketball. Of course, you'll look at somebody like Barkley. He's got to be thrown into the mix as a talent. But I would still say, as I look at it, as I really, really look at it, depth, you go 96. But I would think about 2003 because guess what? LeBron does have 4 rings. D-Wade does have 3. Bosh does have 2, although obviously 2 of it came together with each of them or with them playing together. I got to throw that in the mix, and I got to say, hey, I'll go with that for now. But depth definitely goes to 96.
One thing I'll say about all these classes, you think about the influence of the players. Michael Jordan, of course. Allen Iverson, one of the most influential players of all time. Kobe Bryant, one of the most influential. LeBron, D-Wade, Carmelo Anthony, one of the most influential players. And then Hakeem Olajuwon, right? Number 1 pick in 1984, the last draft without the lottery. Believe he was the first foreign-born player to ever win MVP, won 2 championships. Like, he set the stage for this international revolution that we've seen over the last, 20, 30 years. It was Hakeem. He was one of the first. He was a pioneer in that. So I look at all these classes. They all had, not beyond just the basketball accomplishments, the influence on the game and the culture around it. All of these classes had pillars of that.
Yep. And that you talk about influencers. I mean, like AI.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. I mean, Kobe will be an influencer for forever.
Now, yeah.
For eternity.
No question.
I mean, like, and you talk about it, it's not just in his generation. AI changed the way the game was played. I mean,
people don't. I've said this before. People don't realize is that somebody that again covered them as a beat writer for the Philadelphia Inquirer. I will tell you, the only person more popular than Michael Jordan. I'm sorry, the only person that after Michael Jordan, it was Iverson. Mm-hmm. Iverson was more popular than Kobe for years. This is when Kobe was winning championships. The first and the second of the three-peats. Iverson was still more popular than Kobe Bryant. And a lot of people don't realize that. It was like covering a rock star. Seriously. It was a separate beat in and of itself.
Fashion.
Everything.
Sneaker culture. I mean, you could probably trace the lineage of my sleeve tattoo to Allen Iverson, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He probably influenced that as well.
Yeah. It was crazy.
Obviously, a lot of people. When we're talking about recent drafts and some of the best recent drafts we've had, how do you think this class could stack up?
It could stack up very well, particularly at the top.
Okay.
I don't know that, to Seth's point, I don't know that there's 10 All-Stars in this draft, but I'm willing to bet that Scoot Henderson, Brandon Miller, and Victor Wembanyama are all NBA players.
Yes, so am I.
Yeah.
And Victor Wembanyama, he could be a generational player of all time with his skill set, size, athleticism, length, and everything that he.
How long do you think is he just going to be great out of the gate, or you think it's going to take some time?
Julius Erving was great. Michael Jordan was great. I think we all have to have patience about great takes time. Great just doesn't happen. Influential, impact the game. But I think let him be a 19-year-old playing his first year in the NBA. Yeah. Let him see if they can win 20 more games. Let him see if he can impact the game. But
thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.